Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we're going to be unboxing, reviewing, showing off, and testing a Rokinon 8mm f3.5 fisheye lens. It is a special lens with a unique ultra-wide perspective, 167 degrees when used with an APS-C camera. Its aperture range is f3.5 to f22. And before we get into unboxing it and testing it out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay notified on future videos. So to give a little preview of what we're going to do in this video, first we're going to unbox it. Next we are going to go over the specifications, what a fisheye lens is, what this lens is good for. And then we're going to show off the lens in action, show some footage that I've taken, and so on. Before we get to that, really quickly, I got this lens off of B&H Photo Video for about $200. So it's a budget lens if you're looking for that kind of unique fisheye, wide perspective, first-person angle, but you don't want to flesh out a ton of money for a really nice one. You can get the Rokinon 8mm, which is pretty good. I've been a fan of it so far. So without further ado, let's get to the unboxing. There you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed that little unboxing. And now we're going to talk about the specifications of the lens, what it's good for, and after that we'll jump into testing out the lens and comparing it to other lenses to get a good idea of the image quality and so on. So to start off, of course, it's an 8mm lens. It goes from f3.5 to f22, and it allows for what's considered an ultra-wide angle. So you get a very, very wide angle shot. With APS-C sensors, you get a 167 degree perspective. And with a full frame sensor or 35mm film, you will get a rounded image. And something important to note is if you are using either of those, the image will be a bit vignetted. One very important aspect of this lens is that it is completely manual focus and metering. It does not link up to the camera in any way. You cannot use the autofocus feature with this lens. You'll have to manually adjust the focus, but this isn't a huge problem depending on your use case. Some other information about this lens is that it has a 12-inch minimum focusing distance, or 30 centimeters, to get a high-quality shot of an item in focus. And according to its product description, the lens allows for sharply defined images with minimum ghosting and flare due to a hybrid aspherical lens design and multi-layer coating. So the lens is pretty good at reducing flare and ensuring image quality during the daytime. So, given the fact that if you're buying this lens, you're obviously looking for that fisheye effect, I thought it would be a good time to just talk about what a fisheye perspective is, in case you didn't know, or you want to know a little bit more. The fisheye perspective is popular for outdoor photography, particularly surfing and skateboarding. You've probably seen some rad shots of a skater grinding a rail with the image rounded and the skateboard popping out. That's what fisheye is. So obviously it's a bit of a specialized or unique perspective. Hence, this lens is not something you're going to want to buy for everyday use or just to take normal photographs or videos. Some use cases for a fisheye lens include simulating security footage, making a shot appear as if someone is looking through a peephole, or for distorted first-person perspective shots. This could be a person going in and out of consciousness or even just waking up. I mean, off the top of my head, I've seen a couple videos where somebody does a montage of them waking up and starting their day, that sort of thing. It gives a really awesome first-person perspective due to the wide angle. We'll show this off a bit later, but you can get a whole wide-angle shot of a room that includes your feet, so it does really give off a first-person vibe. And of course, the fisheye perspective has been popularized throughout the years in music videos. So another pretty good use case for this is super rad music video shots. So I'll give a little bit of perspective as to why I bought the lens. I was looking into getting into vlogging, and I bought another 11mm to 16mm lens, a similarly wide angle shot, and I thought it'd be cool to just have another specialized perspective for my vlogs, or even for recording a music video, for scenery, or to give a stylized impression of an object, or to otherwise just add a little bit of flavor to a video. Again, this lens is not going to be your main lens. It's not going to be something that you use for all your videos. I wouldn't expect my footage using this lens to go over 10% of a video, but it could be pretty awesome for giving a sense of immersion or otherwise drawing the viewer's attention. Now, that's about as much as I can tell you about the lens. Let's try it out for ourselves. First, we're going to take a look at what the lens looks like in action compared to other similar lenses. And then I'll do a little montage of shots that I've taken to give a real demonstration of the lens in action.
I set up my Canon EOS 90D in the corner of my room to help visualize what kind of picture the lens allows. As you can see, you're able to get a very wide angle, and additionally, the fisheye effect is shown by the curving of the wall. Here we can see how the lens compares to a similarly wide-angled 11mm lens. As you can see, it is an ultra-wide angle in comparison. The lens looks incredible when you have a subject right in front of it. And to be clear, my hands in this video are nearly touching the lens. I've put together a montage of shots that I've taken with the lens to give you an idea of how you could use it or how it looks in a wide range of scenarios. For example, you can get a really amazing first-person perspective point of view. Since the angle is so wide, even your legs will be in the shot. You can make the fisheye effect prominent by setting up your shot in hallways or other types of narrow paths. For best effect, you're going to want a subject to focus on. This helps create the popping fisheye effect that is so widely known and regarded. The lens is a bit heavy, but not too heavy, and to note, it is rounded.
So I hope I gave a good impression of what the Rokinon 8mm f3.5 fisheye lens is like. Now onto a bit of review as we wrap up and I give my concluding thoughts. Before jumping into the review, I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay notified. Much appreciated. It helps support the channel. So, what do I think about the Rokinon 8mm fisheye lens? For $200, I mean, this isn't spare change, but it's not quite an investment. I think it's pretty fairly priced for the image quality that you get from the lens. And after using it a bit, I think it's honestly fantastic, and I've really been enjoying it. Without sinking, a massive amount of money into another more expensive fisheye type lens, your alternatives would involve getting a fisheye lens filter, which I haven't tried, so maybe I'll try that out in another video in comparison. But The image quality is crisp, and the effect, the way the lens executes the fisheye effect, it's really awesome. I would definitely recommend purchasing one of these if you have a need for this fisheye perspective. You know, again, if you're only going to use it a couple times, I don't know if it's worth $200, but for shooting a music video or doing outdoor photography, skateboarding, surfing, this is definitely something that you could add to your arsenal. But again, it's not cheap, but it's also not expensive. I mean, you're not dropping $800 for a crazy lens. I would consider it a budget hobbyist introductory lens. So I don't really have much else to say other than I would recommend it, you know, under the given conditions that I mentioned. The major downside to the lens would of course be that you can't use autofocus. You have to manually focus the lens at all times, but that's actually not too big of a deal given the perspective of the lens and how little it is really used. It's not like you're going to be using this all the time, and the focus is actually pretty good even when it's out of focus, so I don't think it's too big of a deal, but that is a drawback. All in all, I think the Rokinon 8mm f3.5 is a pretty good lens. I got this off of B&H Photo Video with the Canon EF variant. I can put a link in the description. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and be on the lookout for more lens unboxings and reviews. Next up we have the Tokina ATX-I 11 to 16mm f2.8 CF. I got this at the same time as the Rokinon, so this is a fantastic lens, and this video will be coming next.